Hi, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Return to the Mother World, Dancing with the Dark Feminine Summit, where we honor the Great Mother and the rise of the Divine Feminine and reconnect with ancient feminine wisdom so that we can feel more rooted, grounded, and empowered during this collective planetary shift that we are in. This summit leads us into the nurturing, life giving, deconstructive, and transformational realms of the dark feminine, and is intended to be an exploration of those liminal, mysterious spaces that are often feared, yet can also offer us our greatest gifts, insights, and healing opportunities. As such, the summit is a sacred call to action for embracing, integrating, and dancing with the dark goddess in all her delicious embodiments and ways of being. Now, I'm Emmi Mutale. I'm your host and the creator of the summit. And I am so very excited to have all of you with us and today's guest as well. Today's guest is my beautiful friend and sister priestess, Dr. Nisa Mills. Welcome, Nisa. So good to have you with us.
Hmm. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for the invitation, and I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Oh, so am I. I can't wait to see where we go with our chat today. But let me just introduce you to our audience before we dive any deeper. So, Nisa is the visionary founder of the Feminine Freedom Codes, a living system born from a painted sequence of mandalas, each illuminating a vital aspect of conscious feminine awakening for the new earth renaissance. As an artist and trusted ceremonial guide, Nisa received the Living Light Keys geometry as transmissions that anchor a powerful foundation for women to step into spiritually embodied freedom through ritual, creativity, and meditation. Oh, I love that. Her 30-year journey as a healing practitioner and best-selling author grounds this work with depth and integrity, revealing the Living Light Keys as initiatory codes that map the path for women seeking deeper presence, power, and remembrance. Nisa, I have goosebumps just reading your bio here. That's really, really powerful.
Oh, yeah, it's been quite an evolutionary experience, and I think honestly it speaks to the topic that we're on of as we lean in and listen to the guidance that's coming our way, even during times of massive deconstruction, painful as that can be. It can lead us to these incredible places.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I look forward to hearing more about your collapse and what's been coming through for you around that. And I would also invite you to share a little bit more about your journey with the with the dark feminine to begin with. So, what does the dark feminine mean to you personally?
Yes, I've been reflecting on that, since you asked me to do this. And, ultimately, I think of the mothering force as something that carries both loving, kind, nurturing energies as well as getting slapped around a bit, when you're not quite on the right path. Uh, your mother will call you out. And I think of the dark goddess in Hindu tradition, Kali. You see her like holding a bloody head in her hand. Like that is so frightening, right? It's so frightening.
Mm.
But yeah, my own journey took me into places where I'm more willing to acquiesce when those kinds of energies show up. It's never fun, but it kind of has a magic to it.
Mm,
You know?
it certainly does. Would you like to go a little bit deeper into that experience of meeting the dark feminine?
Yes, I feel that I've had some different experiences, but probably the most dramatic experience that changed my life the most was several years ago. I actually wrote about it in your book. Yeah, some years ago.
Yes.
Oh, that was what was that, 2000, 2020, I think. Anyway,
Yes.
so there was a point in my journey. I had been a chiropractor, just kind of doing my thing, going to work every day, doing some teaching, doing some hands-on healing, and I received this message one day that said, "You're going to need to give everything up." And I was just, in shock. I had no idea what that meant. But fast forward, about a year and a half later, I found myself in a priestess training program that was shredding me, like literally shredding me. Like everything I thought was true, my sense of identity, who I was in the world, it was all just falling away. And one of the things there was this key experience in that I remember when I was in a really deep meditative space inside of my womb, which I know this is part of your medicine too. And that's what happened for me, this deep womb presencing and awakening. And part of that was leaning into some of my past and unraveling patterns that were living there. But what I remembered this one moment was this profound crying episode that was infused with both liberation and depth, joy, and utter grief. Like all of this was happening at the same time. And that's when I really got it. It's like, oh, this is how it works. This is how it works. When we're really like at the cusp of our own transformation, we get to feel it all. And it's all part of the design.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we get to hold it all. I love that. And of course, the Great Mother, she holds it all. And when you surrender to those dark mother energies where that grief is so present, where the pain can be so present, and then is infused with that joy and that grace, my goodness me, as you said, it's not always easy, but it brings such liberation and evolution with it.
Such liberation. And it was really that moment, kind of couched in about a year's worth of time or 2 years that took me into, this whole new life, essentially. And there was a time when I was in that training and I was in Hawaii. Like I left the mainland, I left, where my kids were living. Like I had to leave my practice. I had no money. Like I was just ground zero. And what I discovered is as I just continued to trust and lean into her, this divine force, that things were just taken care of. It was like literally like a magic carpet that just kept being rolled out in front of me. Like, oh, you need some money? Okay, here it is. Oh, you need a cool place to live? Okay, here it is. Like it just kept happening. So on the other side of that, I found myself, doing these paintings that have become the living light keys and coming into the feminine freedom codes and teaching women about archetypal painting. And I went into a training to learn how to do that, and just things I never would have expected in my life, and starting a women's mystery school for a while. And just, yeah, it's been a wild ride. So here we are now. And I just got moved across the country again. Like I was in Mount Shasta, California for 4 years on what I consider a sacred mission, and ended up writing a book about the mystical aspects of that mountain, which is all part of this larger context of, the great awakening on the planet and the feminine forces that are supporting us in doing that. So now I'm in North Carolina near Asheville.
Oh, how beautiful. I love how you just completely surrendered and listened and moved to different physical locations as well as a result of that call. That takes a lot of courage, leaving your life behind, all aspects of your life behind, and especially when you have no money. I find that for me especially is like the scariest thing to move into a whole new phase and not have any financial support behind me. That for me is like the scariest thing of all. How did you cope with that? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, we can talk about it. Well, like I said, I just kept being taken care of. Like somehow it just all was okay. Um, yeah, I it was stressful. And frankly, like I'm in another huge transition right now, and money is a bit wobbly. But I just keep leaning in, kind of as I named the title for today's conversation, this opportunity for collapse to become something beautiful for us. But we have to just kind of lean into it and trust. Like it's utter lack, or it's just an utter act of trust in the divine and knowing that the forces of divinity have my back. It's
Mm.
been proving itself time and time again. It just does.
Mm, that is
Yeah.
potent. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing a bit more about that. And thank you also for mentioning the book that was really the foundation for this summits as well, Return to the Mother World, Ancient Feminine Wisdom in Times of Transition, that you were part of and a number of other beautiful authors were part of. And I'll have to remember to include the link to that book as well as part of this summit. So thank you for
Definitely.
thank you for bringing that in. Well, we kind of touched on this a little bit already in terms of how the feminine, the great mother, the dark mother holds it all, the dark and the light. But what is so important about that in these times of change and transformation? And how does this serve humanity overall?
I don't think anyone would deny that the world as it is not working. It's not working, right? There's so much stress and so much inequity, and the earth herself is being damaged constantly, and our physical bodies are no longer holding the kind of potential and the resilience and the level of health that we're designed for. So things need to change. So this is one of those opportunities where it's like, okay, here it comes. And how do you personally fit into that context is the question that I always ask clients. It's like, where do you fit in this? And are you willing to be courageous enough to listen in and find out? Like in the context of dissolution, where do you fit? Because I believe that every soul really has a role in this. We have a role. And if we're willing to look within and be honest about what we're being called to, that's how the beauty world begins to reemerge. And I do believe that, the new earth is coming, kind of almost in spite of us. But how can we participate, and really be our authentic selves? Like you said about money, like how many people are out there going like, well, I really feel like I'm supposed to be doing this, but I need to keep this job right now that I hate, and I don't want to say that with any level of lightness because I do understand, people have families to tend to, and there's all kinds of things that factor in. But that authentic sense of calling, and that was the name of my Mount Shasta book, The Call of the Mystical Mountain, like the call, like it's a very real thing. And I think that most people, if they really are honest, they would notice that they have some kind of a calling to something greater than what has been laid down foundationally in the lives that we've been taught.
So very true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also somehow feel that we also live in a world where our connection to that intuitive knowing, that ability to hear those messages, those whispers, those nudges from the divine, from the mother, however we want to refer to this divinity as, is often blocked because of the kind of foods we eat, the kind of water we drink, the kind of, lotions, cosmetics we use that are filled with all kinds of chemicals, the air we breathe, the whole environment that we are a part of, whether we choose to be in that environment or not. It's just what we have to live with. And for a lot of us, that actually disconnects us in a very purposeful, systematic way from our innate divinity and intuitive knowing. You and I, Nisa, have talked about this a little bit before in a different context, but for you, what would be your guidance in terms of staying in high vibration and really being open to those intuitive nudges?
Ah, yeah, that's good. And I obviously like that. That is the work that both you and I are called to do, is to help people to get into these higher states so that they can hear and so that they can really be operating at their most potent level. So we'll talk about that a little bit more later with these feminine freedom codes that have been synthesizing themselves around me. But in the meantime, just simple things like getting outside, putting your bare feet on the ground at every opportunity, being mindful of too much electromagnetic smog. If you're sensitive to that, I mean, that can be a huge thing. I know that it really affects me, just Wi-Fi and satellites and all that stuff. And doing your best to rest and eat food that is congruent with your particular body, but always clean, right? As organic as possible. Taking time to be still. I know there's a big wave of people starting to meditate now, which is really awesome. But if that can be done in a way that grounds these higher frequencies into the body, that is the key, right? So you're not just out there floating around. Yeah.
Yeah, those absolutely are very beautiful ways to do it. Thank you for sharing that with us, Nisa. And it also is a beautiful segue for us to talk a bit more about the feminine freedom codes and this beautiful portal that you have there in the background as well. Share a bit more about what this is all about.
Yes, yeah, it's such an exciting thing for me because I feel like it was just something that's been given to me because of this, because I've been listening. And essentially, the feminine freedom codes are fields of consciousness. This is in the broader context. So, in order for a woman or a man to be tuning into these feminine frequencies, excuse me, that, a little sip of water.
All right.
Let's try that again. Yes, in order for us to be tuning into the feminine frequencies that are here for our liberation and the liberation of our planet, there are certain territories that I've discovered, and I imagine you can totally relate to this. One is water, getting connected with the mysteries of the water as they live inside of us and they live outside of us. And that is all of these codes. There's 5 of them. There's water, there's the womb, there's the great mother and the stars, there's the diamond heart, and that's the one behind me right here. Let's see, I'm not sure how to do that with the camera. The heart and the new earth. So attuning ourselves with the frequencies of those energies that are bigger than us and bringing them internal into our bodies. And then the living light keys is the term that I'm utilizing for the sacred geometry that helped me come to understand those 5 territories of consciousness of the feminine freedom codes. So one of them is right here next to me, and this one's called the diamond heart. So what happened for me was like over, I don't know, maybe about a 10-year period, I started receiving these geometric images. The first of which, by the way, happened right after my life fell apart and sent me to Hawaii on a priestess training mission. So yes, these are all painted originally on a large piece of canvas, and they're altars. They've been taken into multiple ceremonies, and what's really fascinating to me about them is that they're teachers. Like as you meditate with them, you learn more about yourself and about how things operate in relationship to the larger field of consciousness around those particular topics.
Mm. Yeah, that is fascinating. I have the water portal one at home, and the first time I meditated with it, I was having such vivid visions and really tangible experiences of whales and the wisdom that the whales carry. And it was really very, very potent. And I would love for you to share a little bit more about the particular portal that you have there in your background and how one could work with that.
Yeah, okay. So this one is called the Diamond Heart. And as I was just contemplating our conversation today, like this is the one that felt like the right one to share in this context. I was like, really? Okay, yeah, I will do it. But this one came to me during a really deep personal journey space, like a several hour meditation. And I was shown some things. First of all, I was guided to create a diamond shape altar with candles. And then as I was in this meditative journey, I realized that each of those points was being held by what we call the Holy Family in Christianity. So Yeshua, Mother Mary, Magdalene, and Grandmother Anna. So as I came deeper into this, I'm like, oh, okay, those three feminine forces were holding the energy for Yeshua to do what he does and who he became, earthly embodied man of such a high frequency. So ultimately, it's kind of a long story to get into more of the details, but that's kind of the essence of it. So for me, it holds a frequency of the high heart, like really being able to tap into that level of the heart that is not only loving but empowered. So the kinds of actions that we hear in the Bible that Christ was willing to take, that are not always, gentle, aka the dark mother, like big forces, right? That say, no, that's not okay. This needs to change so you can come back to that higher resonance of the heart. And the other thing that was really interesting to me about my journey with this portal in the beginning is that it showed me something about the third chakra, which is just below the heart, and that energy needed to come into this diamond resonance as well, so that there can be a connecting point between the heart and the deeper womb or heart space, and being able to merge those places in an empowered resonance. So that's essentially what the diamond heart is about.
I love that, Nisa. Very, very potent. And would you be happy to take us through a meditative experience around that as well?
Yeah, sure. We'll do kind of a short practice, and for anyone who's interested in learning more about this and going deeper, there's plenty of opportunities there by going to my website and getting connected that way. Yeah. But what I'd like to do right now is I have a heart tone crystal bowl sitting here. So this gives us an opportunity to start shifting out of our minds and getting into our hearts and bodies. Excuse me. All right. So just taking a few moments here. I had to turn my ringer off. Closing your eyes and just feeling the stillness that comes by listening to this tone. Bringing your focus into your heart with your breath. Long, slow inhale, long, slow exhale. And breathing into your heart. And as you begin to feel the stillness that lives in your heart, you can gently, softly open your eyes just enough to see the image on the screen, the portal itself with its diamond shapes and crosses. And allowing this image to land in your energy field and in your heart. The colors and the shapes. Just breathing them in. If you have a relationship with Yeshua, Mother Mary, Magdalene, that Holy Family space, or Grandmother Anna, or all of them, just asking for their presence here to enter into your heart space. And taking your breath even deeper into the center of your loving heart. And begin visualizing a small seed of light in your heart space. And as you breathe, it begins to expand. It begins to burst into a diamond shape. I'm visualizing, feeling the resonance of a sparkling diamond inside your heart. Witnessing the many facets of the diamond. As it sparkles and spins. White light and golden light. And as you breathe and be present with this diamond energy, I invite you to ask it to get bigger. So that it begins to expand beyond the heart, beyond the confines of your physical body, heart, reaching itself above and below, front and back. Expanding beyond the reaches of your physical body into your energetic field. We will anchor it above you, at 6 or 8 inches above, into your soul star. And feeling your connection there with the forces above it into the great mystery. Connecting that, sparking your diamond to come more and more alive. Bringing your attention to the lower portion now of this expanded diamond shape as it touches into the earth below. 6 or 8 inches below your roots, into your earth star portal, chakra space, where you anchor yourself into Mother Gaia. Your diamond connected above and below, moving itself and spinning radiantly from the center of your heart. The central core of this diamond shape moves right through the core of your body. So feeling into that entire central core, this channel of light that is now infused with the diamond heart. And just noticing any places in your body that might feel a little blocked. Just inviting the diamond to enter that space. And as it spins, it's just clearing out any debris, emotional, mental, old energies from all time and space, bringing you present here now. Just beginning to deepen your breath now. And recognizing that these frequencies are now with you. They are now a part of you that you can access at any time. Just through remembering this process. Visualizing the diamond heart portal. And letting yourself use it as an anchor. An anchor for you during this collective time of collapse. So that you hold yourself leaning in to the grace of the diamond heart, your own presence, your own capacity, and your connection with the above and the below. Taking one more final breath into the center of your heart, feeling your own diamond there, spinning, pulsing, and expanding into your field. And if it feels right to you, you may keep it. there in your energy field to anchor you and hold you as you go through your day or as you drift off into sleep. And we're just beginning now to come back, returning to this time and space. You might want to move your body a bit. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Thank you, Nisa. Mm. Oh, I'm still breathing in those energies, and I have been feeling quite tight around my heart chakra area, like especially the back heart, the feminine heart has felt quite blocked for quite some time now. And
Mm.
I asked for the diamond shape to go there and start spinning in that area, and I can feel it even now. And my upper body started to really let's kind of shake a little bit as I was doing that. So
Mm-hmm.
very, very
Beautiful.
potent portals that you have downloaded and created here, Nisa. Thank you so much for that experience.
Yeah, yeah, it's my pleasure. I love them so much. Like they've really become a part of me, literally a part of me. And I feel that, this journey of moving through these different levels of our own awakening, utilizing these different fields for feminine awakening is very powerful to help us move along our way, and we lean into the ones that we most need at a given time.
Yeah, feminine feels for our awakening. I love that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. Yeah. And whilst we of course need the masculine consciousness and the masculine energy as well, it really is the feminine that is leading this transition in so many ways and taking us to the kinds of depths that we need to go to.
Yeah, I mean, as this particular portal in my collection is the only one that like blatantly carries such strong masculine, but it's about the union, right? It's about the communion, and that inside of ourselves is just as important as the specific feminine frequencies that we're dancing with, as we're going through these changes.
Yeah. So no wonder it had to be this one that really helped me to unblock that feminine part of my heart. Very, very
I
potent.
love that.
Hmm.
Love that. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Well, Nisa, if our audience wanted to connect with you and find out more about the work that you do, what is the easiest place for them to go
Yeah. Excuse me. My throat.
to?
Yeah.
Interesting.
The thefeminine freedomcodes.com.
Okay,
Yeah.
beautiful. We'll include that in the show notes as well. And are there any other places where people
Oh,
could
yes, I
connect with?
have Creative Feminine Rising on Instagram and YouTube. And honestly, I'm not very involved in social media these days, but you never know. It's still a place where you can find me and reach out if you need to.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Nisa, for being a part of this summit, for returning to the summit as well, and for sharing your wisdom and your grace so beautifully and powerfully. Really, really appreciate all the work that you do in the world and these sacred offerings that you are birthing as well. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Emmy.
Hmm. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in today. I hope you've received lots of golden nuggets of wisdom from this interview as well. And I am wishing you the most wonderful rest of your day. Bye for now.